Welcome back to Fathering in the Prophetic, and we want to start to move into looking at the prophetic.
Good.
And the starting point would be the obvious question: what is the prophetic? If people say prophetic, what's that?
I think in the simplest form,
Yep.
the prophetic or being prophetic is simply hearing God clearly
Yep.
and obeying Him boldly. Is hearing the heartbeat of God, His mind, His will, and His intention
Yes.
for another person, or for a city, or for a nation. But the essence of the prophetic life and the
Yes.
prophetic function is simply the capacity to hear what God is saying.
Very good.
For that environment.
Very good.
And to hear it with such clarity that we are able to pass it on meaningfully to
Great.
the other individual.
Great. So they receive it, so that they actually hear it.
That's right. In other words, Father is always wanting to speak to His children.
Yes.
He's always wanting to speak into environments of significance. But sometimes He needs a third party that's tuned in and listening
Yep.
and vigilant to be able to hear His heartbeat.
Very good.
And speak it into that environment.
So you said the word heartbeat a few times. I really like that because you said His voice and His heartbeat, and these two have to go together, don't they? Because you can portraying God's voice and just His words. If His heartbeat's not there, it can be a bit harsh or judgmental or critical. It can come across that way.
Yes.
So the heart plays a big part in it.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
And so it's not just communicating the word,
Yeah.
it's communicating the motivation of Father's heart.
Very good.
Behind the word. One of the moments that changed my life actually, about 40 years ago, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Father spoke to me quite clearly one morning.
Yes.
And he said, "Don't you ever claim to represent my word if you can't represent my heart."
It's so good, Dave.
Because two people can say the same phrase
Yes, they
and
can.
convey something totally different.
Yes.
And so my Father never wants to be misrepresented.
Very good.
And I think it's important that we not only communicate and this goes for the Bible as well, not only communicate the Word of God,
Yeah. Yeah.
but communicate the heart of the God that wrote the Word. Because people have been put off Christianity for decades, generations, because somebody has spoken the Word,
Yeah.
but they've spoken it with an emphasis that misrepresents the intention of God. So being prophetic,
good.
hear Father's heart and intention clearly so that you can communicate it to another.
That's brilliant. So the prophetic is not us giving our opinion on something, us telling people what we think they should do. It is actually passing on God's heart, God's intention, God's voice. At its simplest, that's what the prophetic is, hearing from God and passing that on in a way that people receive the Father's words, but very much the Father's heart.
Absolutely.